For this particular use case, I have two tables involved. I have my parent table employee, and I have my child table asset activities. Again, we're going to be able to edit an employee record, a parent record, while adding a child record, creating a new asset activities. So to do that, I'm in my employee record. I'm going to click update employee info and asset request. So this is the button that you create when you are digitizing your template. So here's my form. And you can see I have fields at the top. Now, as an end user, you have no idea, right? That you are actually working in two different tables, two different records. But the content, and prior to this functionality coming out, in order to have content from a parent record on a template that was digitized to a child table, you would have to do it through lookup fields, and you wouldn't be able to edit that content. So I'm going to go in and edit some of this content. So let's just change phone number altogether, and we'll say, and I'm going to change my address. We'll say, so I've changed just a few fields in my parent record. Now I'm going to proceed with creating my asset request. So I'm going to say I need a company phone, and it's a replacement demo for function feature. Then I'm going to provide a signature. Now, this goes back to Form Engine baseline functionality. We respect permissions and field properties that are set up in Quickbase. So I have a date of request. It's a required field from Quickbase. So this is not set up in field behaviors on the template. But because this field is red, my update button is not going to appear until I populate this field. So I'm going to go ahead and select today's date. Now you can see the update button shows up, and then I put this field on here. So in my application setup, employee full name is actually the key field for my parent table. So I placed on this form what would be the related field from that relationship on here, so that you can see, we are in fact adding a child record. So I'm going to go ahead, and what that means is once I hit update, then this field will populate with Ashley M. Solomon, because that's the key field, the related, what would be the record ID from employee table. So I'm going to go ahead and click update. And you can see that this populated, so it made the connection that my asset request belongs to my employee record. So now if I go back into Quickbase, you can see right now I do not have any asset activities down here. And you can also see that my address still shows Georgia, still shows Sheffield Glen Street. Once I refresh, now we have 541 Laxton Road, South Carolina, my updated, updated phone number. I did cell phone, updated phone number. And now I also have my new asset request in my child table. So that is how the form works, or what it looks outward facing. Let's look at how you actually set that up on a template. So I'm going to be working with obviously an already digitized, actually, you know what? Let me go in and save as. Give me just a second. There we go. Okay. So when you are digitizing your form, you're going to, and for this scenario, your form will be pointed to two different tables. So in this case, all of these fields that are yellow are coming in from my employees table. And then once I click over to asset activities, all of these yellow fields are coming in from my child table. Once you have digitized your form, and one thing I will add about this, because we are working with two different target tables, if you do not point or apply an upload field. So for those of you who are familiar with Form Engine, you know that you can assign a file attachment field for your generated PDF forms to be automatically uploaded to for that record. Those of you who are new to Form Engine, this is how you would do so. Over by target table, you will see a place where you can click and then select, and this is just a file attachment field in Quickbase that you would select, and only file attachment fields are going to select in your dropdown. And essentially what happens is once a form has been submitted, you can now say, hey, in this field, I want a PDF copy of that completed form to be attached for record keeping purposes. So that's what's going on here. But one of the things that I want to call out is just know you do not have to supply this, but if you do not, you will receive an error as a template builder. Nothing's going to happen. On the back end with end users, but just know that you will have a little caution sign that's going to say, hey, warning, there's a problem with your template. So even if you apply for, say, asset activities, a file attachment form, and you do not have one for employees, then you would have an error message. So nothing to be alarmed, just something I wanted to call out, something that, I noticed when I was setting up this whole demo, and just wanted to let people know. So, all right, now let's get to setting this up. So first we're going to go into options, and we're going to click on our child table. So in this case, asset activities. And then we're going to go down and we're going to click on actions. Oh, it did carry over. Okay. All right. So default, there is now a new section, if you will, under the actions tab that says automatically create a new record if none is provided in the URL during an update. You want to check that box. So default, it's going to be unchecked. Make sure that you check that box. Then we're going to click back onto target tables. Now we're going to go provide our connection. So let me just go ahead and delete out the connection that I created, and we'll rebuild it. So again, default, there's no connections. We have to build out that connection. So I'm going to say my parent table is employees. My child table is asset activities. And the related field, so what is the key field from your parent table that tells your child table, which record it looks up to? In this particular case, it's employee full name. Save. Now I have a connection made between the two tables that this form is targeted to. So that's the first step. Go ahead and click save. So that is all that you need to do for options. Now we're going to go ahead and create our button that will show up in Quickbase that you can, it's a formula URL field, but you can use that on your email notifications or wherever you need to put that button so that people can access the form. We're going to click publish to Quickbase. We're going to select edit. Now you can see it's pulling in, a name. We will automatically give you a suggested name, and it's going to be the template name. You can change this to whatever you want. So I'm going to say dual action button. I want my button to live at the parent table, so my employees table. Now, because we checked the box, the first thing that we did, you're going to see under the child drop down. So which employee field corresponds with the key for the asset activities? This is our child. Because we checked that box, there is now a little message that shows up and it says, we'll create a new record if not provided. Leave this drop down blank because that's what we are wanting to happen. We are not going to provide anything here. We want it blank so that a new record is created whenever somebody provides content in those fields for asset activities. And then automatically, the key field is going to show up in the parent. So which employee field corresponds with the key for employees 1? That's automatically populated for us because we are doing an update. Click create. And this little message that we're getting is just saying, hey, you've got multiple target tables going on here. Once you create this button, you're pretty much you're locking this template in. And you can see it'll tell you what is the field ID in Quickbase. This field ID is 125. You can see it accepted, or it always accepts the name that you designate for the button. So I'm going to go back to Quickbase, refresh, and then out beside, I'm still using the old forms for this particular app. So I'm going to add a field after this one. And I want it to be, I called it dual action. There it is. So here's my button that was just created, that we just created. Now, if I click on it, there's our form.